Chapter 42, 43 and 44 Sri Sai Satcharita. As chapters 42, 43 and 44 describe Baba's Mahaniryan or crossing the border with numerous events that took place, like the construction of the Samadhi Mandir and how Baba came to rest there, and he became Murlidhar. So, Chapter 42, 43 and 44 will be done together. However, YouTube listeners can take advantage of the chaptering features that will help them easily access each of these wonderful segments of precious information. Now I shall narrate the events that are described in Chapter 42 of the Sri Sai Satcharita. Chapter 42 Sri Sai Satcharita. Here Dabolkar gives the date and time of Baba's passing away. Number 2. He describes the Leela of Baba's Shrivallabh in 1916, which was a hint of the future events. The next Leela is about the illness of Ramchandra Dada Patil and Bapusaheb Jog Patil, when Baba assures him that he will recover. However, he predicts that Tatya will pass away on Vijay Dashami of 1918. Number 4. Then Dabolkar talks about the wonderful devotion of Lakshmibai Shinde, to whom Baba gives 9 rupees just prior to his passing away. Number 5. How she brought freshly prepared bhakris and curried vegetables because Baba was hungry. However, Baba feeds it to a hungry dog and shows her his omnipresence as he is satiated by appeasing the hunger of the dog, and teaches us that he is all-pervasive and eternal. Dabolkar starts this chapter saying that in 1918, in the month of Dakshinayan or the month of Ashwin, that is September-October, on Vijay Dashami, in the bright half of the moon, Baba passed away around 2:35 p.m. In the Muslim month of Muharram, or the 9th day, which was the night of slaughter, so called because Imam Hussain, the Prophet's grandson, and Hazrat Ali, along with many youths, were slaughtered at Karbala in 680 AD, and also Durga Puja festival of Vijaya Dashami. However, around 12:30 p.m., Ekadashi or the 11th day had begun. All this is mentioned in detail so that the devotees can comprehend how very auspicious that day was. Next is Baba's preparation for His Niryan. In 1918, some months before Baba passed away, Baba made some preparations for this. According to the Islamic practice, Baba made the following preparation. To Bade Baba's son Qasim, Baba gave some poli with boiled fowls. Then Baba told him, "Go to Aurangabad and see Fakir Shamsuddin Mia. Give him this ₹250. Let him do Maulu, Qawwali and do Niyas." Maulu is the vocal singing of songs about Paigambar. Qawwali is beating the tabla and singing about saints. And Niyas is preparing food and distributing it to people. Then Qasim was to go to Bane Mia Fakir to garland him, and for this purpose Baba gave him a garland. And next to tell him, "Now din, now Tariq, Allah Mia apna dunya le jayega, marzi Allah ki." This means on the 9th day, Allah Himself takes away the lamp which Allah has placed. Such is Allah's wish. Saying this, Baba handed over 250 rupees and a garland of chrysanthemum flowers. But as Qasim pleaded that he was a stranger at Aurangabad, Baba asked Chote Khan to accompany him. So these two started along with a servant of Qasim named Amir. And when they were at Aurangabad station, Fakir Shamsuddin, whom Chote Khan knew, had come to the station. He asked, "Who are the guests that have come from Fakir Sai?" Chote Khan then prostrated, and so also Qasim prostrated. Then Shamsuddin himself repeated the words of Baba, word by word, just as they were delivered at Shirdi. He took these three to his house at the fort and fed them. Then rupees 250 which Baba gave were handed over. Then he did nyais, that is, feeding a large number of people with it. He also performed qawwali, which is the beating of the tabla, and maulu, that is, vocal music. By night, all this was completed, and the next part of the duty was to go to Bane Mia's house. Next morning, they reached his house. There, Mia was standing with one hand raised and the other hand down. The Arabs there on the spot told Chote Khan and his friends not to approach Bani Mia, as he would fly into a rage. They waited for about an hour, and then Chote Khan picked up courage, took Baba's garland in one hand and put it around the neck of Mia Sahib. Then Bane Mia lowered his upraised arm. Then Chote Khan repeated the words, "Now din, now Tariq, Allah Mia apne dunya le jayega, marzi Allah ki." Bane Mia gazed at the sky and tears rolled down his eyes. He felt a slight sadness, evidently at the approaching loss of Sai from the living world. 4 months after that, Baba passed away. Now din, now Tariq means the 9th day of the 9th month. Baba passed away on the 9th day of the 9th month. How Baba indicated that he would pass away on Vijaya Dashami. In 1916, on Vijaya Dashami, on the day of Srimolanghan, Baba flew into a rage around 9 p.m. that day. It was the Chowdi procession on that day, but Baba was in full fury. He tore off his clothes and threw them into Dhunimai and stood there stark naked. The Dhunimai was blazing with Baba's offering of his clothes to her. But Baba's countenance shone even brighter than Dhunimai. Then he said, "Now all of you look at me and decide whether I am a Hindu or a Muslim." Bagoji Shinde meekly went forward and tied a langot on Baba and said, "Baba, what is all this? Today is Srimolanghan, the festival of Dasara." To which Baba replied, "This is in itself my Srimolanghan. and he went on striking hard with his satka. He struck the ground so forcefully with his satka time and again. Around 11 p.m., Baba calmed down. Then he wore a kafni and a new langot and tied a clean cloth around his head. And finally, the Chowdi procession took place. This was Baba's indication that he had chosen Vijay Dashami for his Shrivallabh or passing away. Now I shall describe how Baba's Mahaniryan came to be celebrated on Dashami rather than Ekadashi. Baba left his mortal coil on Vijaya Dashami, that is Dasera, but according to the almanac, Dashami, or the 10th day of the lunar calendar, had ended and Ekadashi had already started. Only for practical purpose it was counted as Vijaya Dashami. But Kaka Sahib insisted that the day was Ekadashi, and Madhav Rao Deshpande supported him. The question was raised at the time of the first anniversary of Baba's Punyatithi. High-ranking devotees like Nana Sahib Chandorkar, Bapusaheb Bhutti decided to celebrate the anniversary on Dasera. Many devotees participated in the event, which was celebrated at Shirdi. Baba's devotees, however, were spread all over. To inform them about the celebration, an advertisement was published in prominent newspapers. Kaka Sahib, honestly sticking to his opinion, celebrated the first anniversary on Ekadashi in his bungalow at Ville Parle, Mumbai. Mureshwar Pradhan of Santa Cruz also arranged the event on Ekadashi in Sai Pradhan Bagh. In the same newspaper, Indu Prakash, there were 3 advertisements of Baba's Punyatithi from Shirdi, Ville Parle and Santa Cruz. In the first one, the day mentioned was Dasera, and in the other 2, it was Ekadashi. Everybody was thus confused. Nana Sahib and Bapu Sahib felt sorry as they were creating a misunderstanding amongst the devotees. To avoid such unpleasant situations, both of them came to Ville Parle to convince Kaka Sahib. But he stood firm on his opinion and they decided to check Baba's decision. Kaka Sahib agreed to it, so they folded papers and kept them before Baba's photograph, and an answer was sought. According to the chit, Baba's decision was Dasera, and that day was confirmed as Baba's Punyatithi and is being celebrated till today on Dasera. This information is taken from Shirdiche Sai Baba, written by K.B. Gavankar. I shall give a short sketch of the lives of 2 Mahabhaktas of Baba. They are Ramchandra Dada Patil and Lakshmibai Tukaram Shinde. She hailed from a village near Yevla. At the tender age of 13, she was married to Tukaram Patil Shinde and came to Shirdi. She had 2 sons, Tatya and Nana. Lakshmibai's husband was a revenue officer and the Britishers had confirmed the title of Mulki Patil, that is, village officer, on him. She was widowed at a very young age, so all the responsibilities fell on her young shoulders. Lakshmibai looked after her children, her farmland and undertook the job of Mulki Patil very seriously. Meticulously, she collected taxes and deposited it at the office at Raghoba Dada Wada, that is the name of the building. The Britishers were very pleased with her dedication and gave her a stipend. Lakshmibai was a well-to-do woman. She owned her own home. Lakshmibai was working in the masjid day and night. Except Bhagat Malsapate, Tatya and Lakshmibai, nobody was allowed to step into the masjid at night. Once, while Baba was sitting in the masjid with Tatya, in the evening, Lakshmibai came and did namaskar to Baba. The latter said to her, "Oh Lakshmi, I am very hungry." Off she went, saying, "Baba, wait a bit. I return immediately with some bread for you." She did return with the bread and vegetables and placed it before Baba. Baba took it and gave it to a dog. Lakshmibai then said, "What is this, Baba? I ran in haste, prepared the bread with my own hands for you, and you threw it to a dog without eating even a morsel? You gave me a great deal of unnecessary trouble." Baba replied, "Why do you grieve for nothing? The appeasement of the dog's hunger is the same as mine. The dog has a soul. The creature may be different, but the hunger of all is the same. Though some speak and others cannot. Know for certain that he who feeds the hungry really serves me and feeds me with food. Regard this as an axiomatic truth. This is an ordinary incident, but Baba thereby propounded a great spiritual truth and showed its practical application in daily life without hurting anybody's feelings. From that time onward, Lakshmibai began to bring him daily bread and milk with love and devotion. Baba accepted it and ate it with relish. He took a part of it and sent the remainder with Lakshmibai to Radha Krishna Mai, who always relished and ate Baba's remnant prasad. This bread story shows how Sai Baba pervaded all creatures and transcended them. He is omnipresent, birthless, deathless, and immortal. Reference Sri Sai Satcharita, chapter 42. After this incident, Lakshmibai always brought bhakri and milk and lovingly fed Baba. The statue of Lakshmibai. Inside the home is a small shrine with Lakshmibai's statue, in front of which are the 9 coins enclosed in a glass top. On Vijay Dashami in the year 1918, before Baba took Mahasamadhi, he put his hand in his pocket and gave her ₹5, then ₹4, totaling 9, which is indicative of the 9 types of devotion, namely Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Padasevana, Archana, Vandana, Dasya, Sakhya, and Atma Nivedan. The reference to this is Sai Satcharita, chapter 21 and chapter 42. Another interpretation of the 9 coins could be as follows. The number 5 could be the Panchindriyas. They are Karm Indriyas and they are 5 Gyan Indriyas. these indriyas are the cause of joy and sorrow. The 4 rupees could also mean the ego complex, that is, manas, buddhi, aham and chitta. If the above mentioned are placed in Baba's hand or laid at his feet, it is total Sharanagati or total surrender. Baba, through Lakshmibai, is teaching us to totally surrender ourselves to him. Lakshmibai took Samadhi or passed away on 2nd June 1963. She died peacefully after Sage Aarti. Prior to her demise, she asked her relatives to read aloud chapter 42 of the Charitra. The Samadhi of Lakshmibai is in front of her home. It is enclosed in a small shrine. Her descendants are living happily in Shirdi. The above information was provided by her descendants. The next Mahabhakta is Ramchandra Dada Patil. How great was the Rinana Bandh of these two! Their love was deep and unfathomable. Ramchandra was born in Shirdi. He was the only son of Radhabai and Dada Kote Patil. Ramchandra had 3 sisters. He was born to affluence. His ancestral properties spread far and wide in Shirdi and neighboring villages. His father owned many acres of farmland, which yielded all types of grain and sugarcane. Hence, he had only to supervise the laborers. Ramchandra was a very bright student, and he studied up to the 7th standard in Marathi. But most of all, he was interested in the legal system. He was responsible for incorporating the village of Biragaon into Shirdi. Maruti Mandir has 2 vigrahas. One is for Shirdi and the other is for Biragaon. It is said that in those days the boundary of Shirdi was up to the Chowdi, beyond which was Biragaon. He was the secretary of the Dakshina Bhiksha Sanstha. He started doing Baba's Seva at the tender age of 11 years. He had immense faith in Baba and took Baba's word as law. In 1916, he was extremely sick with influenza. Baba gave him Sakshatkar and said, "Don't be afraid, you have a long life ahead of you." Ramchandra was greatly relieved to hear this, and he immediately asked about his friend Tatya. Baba, however, said, 2 years from today, Tatya Sahib's death will occur, but do not tell it to anyone. Ramchandra did recover, but was terribly upset with what Baba had said. So he confided in Bala Shimpi, who was a good friend of his. Tatya also was a dear friend of his since childhood. They grew up together, and Baba strengthened their bond by making them eat out of the same plate daily in the Dwarkamai. Ramchandra was married to Sita Bai, but she had no children, so he remarried and had 2 sons. After Baba's Mahasamadhi, the devotees were working the whole night to get the Samadhi ready. Mir Shakkar, a Pahalwan residing at Korala, saw the developments and went to Appaji Kote Patil, who was Ramchandra's grandfather, and managed to convince him that it was bad for the village to keep a dead body in it. He said, Besides, they are going to build a Samadhi in Buttiwada. So they will get a Brahmin priest of their choice. Then they would lock the building and Muslims would not be able to enter. This appealed to Appaji, and he called a meeting and told the villagers his views. Then the villagers agreed to take the body out of Shirdi. Ramchandra heard this and disagreed, saying that Baba's last wish should be followed and honored. This enraged Appaji, and he told him not to step into his house again. Ramchandra agreed, as he was determined to honor Baba's last wish at any cost. Indeed, he did not enter his grandfather's residence for 12 long years, although his first wife Sita Bai resided there. Tatya was well revered in the village, and he sided with Ramchandra. The villagers met again, but there was a split. A few people agreed with Appa Kote Patil, but most of the younger villagers were adamant to honor Baba's wish. Single-handedly, Ramchandra set out to convince the devotees that had gathered in Shirdi about Baba's Mahasamadhi, about the importance of honoring Baba's last wish, and he succeeded. Thus for 2 days the body lay in the Dwarkamai. At 4 p.m. on Wednesday, the body was placed in the Samadhi after a grand procession through the village. On the 13th day, Ramchandra arranged for a feast. The devotees distributed laddus by thousands, and thousands of devotees all partook of it. And wonder of wonders, the number of laddus remained the same after every distribution. Thus, for 2 months, laddus were distributed to each and every devotee. Putti was extremely fond of Ramchandra and often invited him to Nagpur. Putti asked him to stay with him and help with the business, but Ramchandra could not bear the thought of leaving Shirdi. Ramchandra was the Sarpanch, or head official of Shirdi Gram Panchayat for 20 years. The Nagar Palika has a photograph of his hanging in the office. Along with these duties, he actively participated in the Shirdi Sai Baba Sansthan and was a joint secretary for a long time. Ramchandra would get up early in the morning, have a cup of tea. After that, he would eat nothing till the afternoon Aarti. He attended the Aarti daily and was never sick for a single day. He died at the age of 70. That day, he had invited some guests for lunch. They were late in coming to his home, and his family suggested that he should have his lunch. He replied that he would wait for the noon Aarti. He sat down as he was feeling giddy. Before they could seek any medical help, he quietly and peacefully breathed his last. His descendants still live in Shirdi. This information was provided by his descendants. Chapter 43 and 44, Sri Sai Satcharita. Prior to Baba's Mahasamadhi, an ill omen occurred, and that was the breaking of Baba's brick. In chapter 45 of Shripada Charitra, Shripada tells Hanumanji that his manifestation as Samartha Sadguru Sai Baba, he will have various gurus like Sham Charna Lahari Mahashay to teach him Kriya Yoga, and Waris Ali Shah, who will teach him the secrets of yoga. Then Hanumanji asked Shripada to give him a Vaishnav Guru who knows how to venerate him. Then Shripada gives him Gopal Rao Deshmukh, who is utterly devoted to Lord Venkatesha, and hence he is called Venkusha. All this was predicted in 1326. In the book Life of Sai Baba by Sri Narasimha Swamiji, it is stated that young Sai Baba was under the tutelage and care of his Guru Gopal Rao Deshmukh, also known as Venkusha, a saintly zamindar at Selu. Baba was utterly devoted to his Guru, who also loved him very much. Baba, being favoured by his master, evoked considerable jealousy amongst the Guru's retainers, and some of them resolved to kill the young Baba by hurling brickbats at him. During a Chaturmasa, Gopal Rao was in the garden and young Baba was attending to his needs. The villains hurled bricks on Baba. One of the brick came very near Baba's head, but the Guru saw it, and by his order it stood still in mid-air, unable to proceed further or hit Baba. Another man threw a second brick to hurt Baba, but Gopal Rao got up and got the brick on his head. This led to profuse bleeding. Baba was moved to tears, and he begged his master to send him away, as the master was getting harmed from his unfortunate company. But the master declined to send him away, as for the injury the master bandaged it with a shred of torn cloth from his own garment. And then suddenly he said, "I see that the time has come for me to part with you. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. I shall leave this body, not as a result of this injury, but by my own yoga powers of Svecha Ichha Maranam. Therefore, I shall now vest my full spiritual personality in you. For that purpose, fetch milk from yonder black cow." Young Baba went to Hulla, the Lambadi in charge of that cow, who pointed out that the cow was barren, as she had not calved and could not therefore yield milk. All the same, he came with the cow to the chieftain, Gopal Rao, who touched it from its horns to its tail and told the Lambadi, "Now pull on the teats." The Lambadi's pull drew out plenty of milk, and this milk was given to Baba with Gopal Rao's blessings, that the full power and grace of his Guru should pass to the young Baba. This was the Diksha, the investiture of the Guru's personality, which young Baba underwent. So far as the mystic powers were concerned, Shakti Nipata, immediately an opportunity arose for proving the transfer of the power. The villain whose brickbat had hit Gopal Rao, the chieftain, fell down dead the moment Gopal Rao was hit. His companions were horrified, and they came with repentance to Gopal Rao's feet and prayed for pardon, not only for themselves but also for their dead companion, whom they requested Gopal Rao to revive. The chieftain pointed out that the power of revival now rested in the young man, and they should appeal to him. They accordingly appealed, and Sai Baba took some dust from the feet of his Guru and placed it on the corpse, and the dead man rose at once. The Guru's declaration that he would pass away the next day from this life into beyond was fulfilled. After making the fullest preparation for settling all the temporal affairs, Gopal Rao, with full consciousness, sat up amidst the religious group, carrying on puja, bhajan, and namasmaran, in the presence of his Ishta Devta, Sri Venkatesha, and at the solemn hour that he had fixed for his departure, his soul left in perfect peace and happiness. Like Parikshit in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, before leaving the body, the master waved his hand westwards to the young boy and bade him to leave Selu and proceed towards his new abode, Shirdi. Shirdi lies on the banks of the Godavari, due west of Selu, and Baba by slow degrees moved from place to place and arrived at Shirdi, and after some time made it his permanent residence. However, it must be noted that Baba brought the brick along with him, and she was his constant companion. This is taken from the life of Sai Baba, written by Narasimha Swamiji. Now I shall narrate some details of the brick. The brick. This is given in chapter 4 of the Sri Sai Satcharita. Ever since Baba's stay in the Dwarkamai, he had a brick with him. This brick was his constant companion. With great affection and care, he looked after her. Though an inanimate object, Baba loved it and called it his lifelong companion. Baba, in his characteristic way, referred to the brick as her. Although she was an earthen brick, she was well baked and sturdy. She was 1 foot long, 9 inches wide, and 3 inches in depth. Baba would support his hand on her while he sat in solitude in the Dwarkamai. When he slept, he used her as a pillow. Malsapati and Kashiram Shimpi would worship her after performing Mangal Snan. Then carefully place her against the pillar adjacent to Dhunimai. At night, they would wrap her in a clean cloth and give her to Baba to use as a pillow. Though Malsapati and Kashiram were constantly with Baba, it did not occur to them to ask Baba about the significance of this brick. Madhu Fasle, who used to sweep and clean the Dwarkamai, was very careful when handling this brick. Every day, he would wash and dry her by placing her near Dhunimai. Later, he would wrap her in a clean cloth and place her underneath the cupboard. This cupboard had Baba's clothes, beneath which was a cemented parapet. Thus the brick would be safely stored away. Baba loved this brick more than his life and never forgot her. Many an hour he spent with her, in self-absorption, oblivious of his surroundings. One day, when Baba had gone out, a young Sevkari, when sweeping the Dwarkamai, accidentally dropped her, and she broke into 2 pieces. Frightened of the consequences, he placed the 2 pieces one upon the other against the Dhunimai and left. When Baba returned, he asked Malsapati for his brick. Malsapati lifted her, and one of the broken pieces fell to the ground. Seeing this, Baba was distraught and started crying like a human being. "It is not the brick, but my fortune that has broken. She was my constant companion. Now that she has gone, I too will leave." Malsapati tried to comfort Baba by saying, "Baba, I will bind her together with a gold wire. O Bhagat, this brick is more valuable than many gold bricks. Now that my Sangani is broken, I cannot remain here." Thereafter, Baba's health started deteriorating, and on the 5th day, he took Mahasamadhi. Mention of this incident is made in Sai Satcharita, chapter 44. Now I shall narrate how Baba took Mahasamadhi and the events that followed it. Sai Baba left his mortal coil on Tuesday, October 15th, 1918 at 2:35 p.m. It was Vijaya Dashami and Ekadashi both on the same day. Around September 25th, 1918, he was down with fever. On October 9th and 10th, Baba's favorite brick broke into 2 pieces. It was with him since he came to Shirdi. The brick was roasted and therefore not a brittle one. Baba had great concern for this brick. Not only concern, but he loved that brick. On that ominous day, someone dropped it on the floor and broke it into 2 pieces. When Baba came to know about it, he broke down with sorrow and said, "I have lost my intimate companion. It is not a brick, but my faith that has been broken into pieces." With the breaking of the pious brick, Baba's health declined. He had a fever for 2-3 days. Then he stopped his food intake and begging rounds and sat quietly in the masjid. Just 5 to 6 days after the breaking of the brick, he passed away. Prior to this incident, Baba's words indicated about His Niryan, but no one could understand the significance of them. When Baba had fever, Kaka Dikshit was there with him in Shirdi, but Baba purposely sent him back to Mumbai. He let nobody know the exact time of his departure. He was conscious till the last moment and was advising his devotees not to lose heart. Dikshit was in touch with the other devotees and returned to Shirdi as soon as he heard that Baba's health was declining. Nana Sahib Nimonkar was in Baba's service for 2 to 3 years previously. Bhutte, Jog, Bhate, Madhav Rao Deshpande and all others were in Shirdi around Baba. Going to Lendibag, going for Bhiksha and other routines were continued till he became too frail to walk. He needed support while walking or standing. Bapusaheb Bhutte and Nimonkar helped him with that. Both of them almost used to lift him and take him to the destination. Only 2 days before his Niryan, the routine was discontinued. Baba himself was trying to raise the spirits of the devotees, telling them not to worry. He took care that nobody would know about his approaching end. He was constantly alert till the last second, comforting the people around him. On 15th October, the afternoon Aarti was carried out. Baba then asked the devotees, Bapusaheb, Kaka Sahib and others to go to the houses for taking lunch. Actually, these people used to have a meal with Baba every day, but that day he wanted them to go home. Only Bayaji Appakote, Bagoji Shinde, Lakshman Shimpi, Nana Sahib Nimonkar and a few other devotees were with Baba when he breathed his last. Madhav Rao was sitting on the steps and Lakshmibai was by the side of Baba. She used to bring roti and sabji for Baba every day. One day, Baba was standing by the wall when Lakshmibai came and joined her palms in prostration. Baba said, "Lakshmi, I am very hungry." She went home, prepared rotis and vegetables and brought them to Baba. He took the plate and placed it before a dog. Lakshmibai said, "Baba, what is this? You were hungry. Then why did you give it to a dog?" He said, "Why? Is the dog not a living being? It also feels hungry. I and the dog are one." This was a direct percept to Lakshmibai from Baba. Just 5 minutes before his Niryan, he gave a total of 9 rupees to Lakshmibai. Then he said, "I'm not comfortable here. Take me to the Vada. There I will feel better." Buttivada, also known as Tagdivada, is now the Samadhi Mandir. This was the last command Baba gave. He was sitting by the side of Bayaji Appakote. His respiration became slow. Baguji saw it and called out to Nimonkar, who was sitting in a helpless mood. He hurriedly rose to bring a kettle of water and tried to pour it into Baba's mouth, but the water came out. Nimonkar screamed, "Oh Deva!" Because of his cry, Baba opened his eyes for the last time and faintly responded, saying, "Ah." In his last moment, he leaned on Bayaji's shoulder and breathed his last. All who were present there sensed what was happening. Everybody was wailing and lamenting with deep sorrow. It was a very tragic scene. The devotees had lost their God, their mother, father, brother, friend, Sadguru, and everything else. With the exit of Sai Baba from this mortal world, an era had come to an end. After that sorrowful moment, all had to face the practical difficulty of square Cs were to be carried out, but in what manner? It became a matter of dispute. Muslims wanted to do it according to their religion, and Hindu devotees were in the majority, insisted that it was their right. Sai Baba was a great saint. It did not make any difference whether he was a Hindu or a Muslim, because he was above both. Bade Baba, Imam, and other Muslims of Shirdi took hold of the body. According to them, Baba was a great Peer and the body should be buried. They also wanted all the rights of the Dargah thereafter. Baba had never spoken about the funeral rites to anyone of his close devotees. Only his last command was to take him to Buttivada. After a lot of discussion, all agreed to accept his last wish. So the digging for the Samadhi started in Buttivada. But the next morning there was some opposition. Muslims thought that the Samadhi was built on private property of a Hindu. It would not be under public rights, so they were rather displeased. Many high-ranking Hindus also were of the same opinion. Some suggested that Baba always used to sit in the Dwarkamai and that it was an appropriate place for a Samadhi. But Muslims ruled out the suggestion, saying that a tomb in the masjid was not allowed in their religion. News of his demise and the dispute spread far and wide. Mamledar of Nagar and Amir Bai from Mumbai reached Shirdi. They tried to estimate the opinions, but the unanimous decision was not in sight. Mamledar then told the people with admonition that if they could not concur the decision, they would have to go to the collector at Ahmednagar. Then his orders would be final and binding to all. Kaka Dikshit was given the responsibility of going to the collector and doing the needful. In that situation, the Muslim devotees thought that to maintain the harmony amongst different castes and religions, the dispute should be resolved peacefully, on only one condition, that there will be no objection for them to enter the Vada and take darshan. All Muslims agreed on building the Samadhi in Buttiwada. Tatya Kote Patil and Ramchandra Dada Patil convinced the Hindu devotees who were initially against it. Seeing the devotees had united, the Mamledar of Kopargaon gave the required orders. On Wednesday evening, Baba's body was brought to the Vada in procession and kept in the sanctum. Coincidentally, the length and breadth of the place was exactly matching the prerequisite. Building of the Samadhi was then completed without any hindrance. Since the day, all the rituals like worship, arti, were carried out according to the Hindu religion, and nobody raised any objections to it. The famous and sacred brick, even though broken, is kept in the Samadhi near Baba's head. In the year 1911 or 1912, suddenly Baba took seriously ill. All the people thought that he might not survive. Nana Sahib Chandorkar informed most of the devotees to come and have the last darshan. Accordingly, many devotees congregated in Shirdi. Many started japa, Vedic chanting, Chandipat, Lagu Rudra for the improvement in Baba's condition. Some close devotees had different worry in their mind. They secretly discussed about what should be done if the worst thing happened. The question was if Baba's body should be taken to a dargah as Muslims do, or to build a Samadhi according to the Hindu customs. Nana Sahib, Kaka Dikshit, Bapusaheb Jog, Balasaheb Bhate, Dev, Tatya and others decided to ask Baba. He only would show them the way. If he determines as to what would be proper, then there would be no dispute. But who was to ask Baba? All of them chose Nana Sahib Chandorkar as a representative. He said, "For me too, it is a very difficult task." All this discussion was going on in Dikshatwada. Just then, a person came from the Dwarka Mai with the message from Baba. He said, "Where is Nana Sahib? I have a message for you from Baba." "Here I am. Tell me," said Nana. Baba says, "Do not worry about my dead body right now. I am not going to die of this ailment. You carry on your work. I myself shall dispose of my body when the time comes." Everybody was surprised to experience the omnipresence of Baba. All the devotees continued with the japa as decided previously. Baba too got well soon after that, and all the devotees returned to their homes with a peaceful mind. In the near future, Baba asked Buddhi to build the Vada and a mandir in it. The sanctum was kept empty for an idol of Lord Shri Krishna, but in his mind he must have chosen the place for his Samadhi. Just before his passing away, Baba spoke to the wife of a Marwadi. He said, "I am fed up of staying in the Dwarka Mai and Chowdi. Now I will go to Dagdi Vada and stay there. Brahmins will take care of me." 4 to 5 years prior to his passing away, he told Tai, the wife of Bapusaheb Jog, "This place is reserved for me. There will be a stone building here. and I will sit there." Baba must have made up his mind at that time but kept it a secret. Baba's body did not become stiff even after 24 hours. His hands and feet were moving freely. It was not necessary to tear the kafni off from his body. No unusual signs were seen on the body except a slight oozing of blood through this mouth. On October 15th, Baba left his mortal body in the afternoon. On the same night, Lakshman Mama saw a dream. Baba came to him and said, "Tomorrow early in the morning, Bapusaheb Jog will not come for Kakad Aarti because he thinks that I am dead. But I am alive. You come at dawn as usual and perform the Kakad Aarti." As per Baba's command given in the dream, Lakshman Mama went to the Dwarka Mai as Baba's body was kept there. He worshipped the body and performed Aarti also. Many people felt that Baba's hand showed some movement at the time of the Aarti. In the evening, the body was shifted to Buttiwada and Sage Aarti was performed there. All the routine rituals were continued from the first day of Baba's Mahasamadhi, and it is done every day till today. On October 15, Baba gave an experience to Das Ganu Maharaj, who was in Pandharpur that day. Baba told him in symbolic words, "The masjid has collapsed. Come and place some flowers on my body." On the third day after Baba took Samadhi, the sister-in-law of Mureshwar Pradhan had a dream in which Baba commanded, "There is a yellow-colored dhoti kept in your bag. Send it up for spreading over my Samadhi." She had actually forgotten about it, so she found it and then went to Pradhan and handed it over to him for taking it to Shirdi. After Baba's Mahasamadhi, one more issue of dispute came up. It was about the precious articles that the devotees had offered to Baba. The approximate cost of all such things was about 10,000 rupees. Baba had not appointed anybody as his inheritor or successor. On the basis of the law then, the property belonged to the government. Stating this reason, the Mamledar of Kopargaon collected and deposited it in the government treasury. Baba was a fakir. He had no attachment for any such things. Devotees used to offer many valuable articles, but he least cared about them. Radha Krishna I used to take care and manage all the things. It was she who floated the Shirdi Sansthan. Therefore, the property did not belong to Baba. The Sansthan had the rights over it. This issue was discussed amongst the important devotees, and Kaka Dikshit was given the responsibility of further action as he was a solicitor. He applied to the Nagar court district and pleaded the issue. The court agreed to the point, and the property which was collected in the treasury was returned to the Shirdi Sai Baba Sansthan. All the credit of this goes to Kaka Sahib Dikshit. Now I shall talk a little about the wooden cot that Baba had laid on while Lakshman Mama performed Aarti to him. The wooden cot. The devotees were devastated by shock and sorrow after Baba's Mahasamadhi. Later, the question arose as to what was a befitting way to bid farewell to the body. Unfortunately, there was a difference of opinion between them. Baba was laid on the cot for 2 days. till their differences were sorted out. In chapter 42 of the Sri Sai Satcharita, under the title Niryan of Sri Sainath, the description of Lakshman Mama's dream vision is given. It is on this cot that Baba lay when he performed ritualistic Kakad Arti to him. Then he placed Dakshina and Tambul in Baba's closed fist, not heeding the objections of the Muslims and the Maulvis. This ritual was performed on Baba on the 16th of October 1918, and following this, all artis were performed to him. Reference Sri Sai Satcharita, chapter 42. It was finally decided that Baba's Samadhi would be in the Sanctum Sanctorum of Buttiwada. The devotees had a huge procession, and Baba's body was carried on this cot around the village and was finally laid to rest in the Sanctum Sanctorum around 4 p.m. that evening. So, Baba took Mahasamadhi on the 15th October, a Tuesday, around 2:35 p.m. and was placed in his Samadhi on the 16th of October around 4 p.m. Now I shall narrate an interesting event that took place in the month of Margashish, that is December of 1886, when Baba got an attack of asthma, and for relief of the affliction, he took Nirvikalpa Samadhi for 3 days. Baba's 3-day Samadhi. Reference chapter 44 Sai Satcharita. About 32 years before Baba's Mahaniryan, Baba took a 3-day Samadhi. One day, Malsapati was sitting near Baba. Baba said, "Today I will send my prana to Brahmanda for 3 days. Look after my body well." Having said these words, Baba stopped breathing. Malsapati tenderly placed Baba's head on his lap and waited. On the second day, as Baba had not resumed breathing, the mullahs and the Maulvis proclaimed that Baba was dead. At first, they urged Malsapati to hand over the body. By the third day, matters had gotten out of hand, and the Hindus and Muslims started fighting. Each side wanted Baba's body, and the Muslims wanted to make a dargah. The Hindus, however, wanted to give Baba's a Hindu cremation. Even Shama came to Malsapati and said, "Bhagat, Baba has gone now. Lay the body on the ground." Calmly, Malsapati said, "Arre, I will see how he will leave like this." The fighting between the Hindus and the Muslims reached a crescendo, and the Kopargaon court intervened. The court heard both sides and was about to give its verdict when Baba started breathing softly and all signs of life returned. Baba opened his eyes and said, "Arre, who are you to claim my body and to do my last rites? Just as I came or manifested, thus I will go. I have taken care of my Niryan and the last leg of my journey on earth, so you don't have to worry about it." The words of Baba were written by Dr. Keshav B. Gavankar in the preface of the book titled Malsapati Bhagat Yanche Charitra under the title Don Shabd. It is important to note that Malsapati adhered to Baba's words and did not hand over the body, not caring for his own comfort. Malsapati did not place Baba's head on the floor, nor did he cave under the pressure of the Maulvis and the Hindus. If Malsapati had handed over the body to the Maulvis or the Hindus, a catastrophe would have occurred, and the devotees would have lost 32 years of Baba's Leelas. The 3 days Samadhi and what transpired during the 3-day Samadhi was predicted in Shripada Shrivalabh Charitra. It says, Shripada transferred his power completely into the Muslim fakir of Dishila Nagaram in later years. In Bengal, a great person by the name of Gadadhar, that is Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, was born. He would worship Kalambika. When he prayed for liberation, Jagat Janani did not agree. She asked him to take birth again for the sake of his followers and to grace them considering their merits and sins. He did not agree to take birth again. Then Kalambika asked the Muslim fakir of Dishila Nagaram to come to her in the subtle body. That Muslim fakir remained dead for 3 days. He told his devotees, I will go to Allah and come back within 3 days. Kalambika is none other than Vaishwe Kanyaka Parameshwari. The Muslim fakir was given the task of looking into the sins and the merits of the followers of Gadadhar. Jagat Janani deposited part of herself in him. Shripada also deposited a part of his energy in him. After 3 days, when that Muslim fakir came back into the gross body, he became the most powerful. He served in the masjid in which he lived as a mother. It was because of the amsha of the Divine Mother entering into him. So he showed motherly affection towards all his devotees. All these things I am narrated will be happening in the coming centuries. Amsa means partial manifestation, a part of God which has descended and taken a form. This is given in chapter 4 of Shripada Shrivallabh Charitra. And finally, after Baba passed away, he was laid to rest in Buttiwada or Dagdiwada according to his last wish. Balasaheb Bhate and Upasani Maharaj performed ceremonies of the Til Anjali and Til Tarpan and Pinda Pradhanam on the 13th day. Upasani went to the banks of the Bhagirathi along with Jog and performed Homa and Havan. Then massive Annadan was performed and Dakshina was given to all the devotees that attended it. And finally, I will narrate the life of Sakaram Hari, alias Bapusaheb Jog. Baba loved him so much that when he first visited Shirdi, Baba would not allow him to return home and get his belongings. Bapusaheb was probably born in 1856. He worked as a supervisor for the government, and in 1909 he availed of the retiring furlough and came to Shirdi with his wife. The couple had no children and they lived comfortably on their pension. One of Bapusaheb Jog's close relative was the famous Satpurusha Vishnu Bua. Before visiting Shirdi, he visited Karbad to pay homage to Sadhu Sakaram Maharaj. He spent some time there doing seva. Bapusaheb thought that he would stay in Shirdi for a few days and then return to Kabad and spend the rest of his life doing seva there. But Baba had other plans for him. At Shirdi, he stayed in Satewada. When the other devotees said something that he did not like, he threatened to go to Kabad. Baba said, Does the Vada belong to Sati's father? I'll tell Dada Kelkar not to trouble you. You should stay peacefully there. Okay? Baba spoke so sweetly that Bapusaheb Jog stayed on. Bapusaheb was a Chittapavane Konkanas the Brahmin, orthodox and strict about following Savale. He was righteous, honest, straightforward in his dealings. His wife was of the similar temperament and they were made for each other. Her name was Tai and Baba called her Ai. Bapusaheb was a Datta Upasak and a follower of the Datta ritual. He silently went about doing his sadhana. The Devara in his room had all the gods and goddesses, and he would offer a kafne along with Nivedya to Lord Datta on every Datta Jayanti. One year, while at Shirdi, he had an irresistible desire to offer a kafne to Baba on Datta Jayanti. So he got Bala Shimpi to stitch the kafne. On Datta Jayanti, he took the kafne and after doing puja to Baba, offered the kafne. Baba accepted it and in turn gave him one of his own as prasad. Happily, he took the kafne and preserved it. In the evening, he would wear the kafne, tie a white cloth around his head and go for Baba's darshan. He called it Darbari Poshak or court dress. At other times he wore ordinary clothes. Bapusaheb was kind-hearted and a thorough gentleman, but because of his position of power, his dealings with the labor force, he appeared stern. He did have a quick temper though. Baba slowly but surely changed that. He lived frugally and had quite a bit of money saved. Baba knew that he was egoistic about his wealth. Baba kept demanding dakshina again and again till it was depleted and all his savings were gone. Bapusaheb learnt a valuable lesson. His routine every month was to collect his pension from Kopargaon, pay his dues to the shopkeeper, and whatever remained he would place it before Baba. Baba trusted him immensely and would often give his money to him for safekeeping. Bapusaheb would keep the money safely and was constantly aware that it was Baba's money. When the need arose, Baba would ask him to buy this or that from it. Baba would often give him 100 rupees and a few days later jokingly say, "Bapusaheb, I gave you 125 rupees a few days ago. Go and fetch it." Bapusaheb would tell Baba that he had not given him that much and had only given him 100 rupees. This happened quite a few times and Bapusaheb was indignant. He said, "Baba, I don't want to be involved with your money transactions. Keep your money with somebody else." Baba would then pacify him, saying, "Bapusaheb, don't get angry. I made a mistake. It was only 100 rupees, okay?" Once a devotee gave Baba a guinea. Baba gave it to Bapusaheb and said, "What is this?" He told Baba that it was a guinea or equivalent to 15 rupees. Baba said, "It is worth 30 rupees. You keep it and give me 30 rupees. Bapusaheb looked after Baba's affairs after Megha's death on 19 January 1912. He was given the honor of performing Baba's Aarti till Baba's Mahasamadhi. All the seva that Megha used to perform fell on Bapusaheb's shoulders, like Baba's Aarti in the Dwarkamai, evening Aarti in Satewada, Aarti in Dikshitwada, and Guru Padukastan. Bapusaheb took his duties very seriously. Usually, there were a substantial numbers of devotees present for the Aarti. However, if there were just a few or none at all, it did not bother Jog. He conducted the Aarti with devotion and zeal. Bapusaheb and Thai led a life of austerity. They got up at the crack of dawn. After bathing in cold water, they performed puja to their household deities, followed by religious rituals, the reading of the Pothi. Then they went to the Dwarkamai for Baba's darshan. Bapusaheb stayed by Baba's side doing all the chores, and Thai went home and prepared prasad for the Aarti and looked after the innumerable guests that came there as Baba had sent them. Thai was the epitome of bhakti. She was intensely devoted to Baba. Her love for her Guru was so passionate that after Baba's Niryan, she lost self-control and wandered the streets of Shirdi aimlessly as if searching for her Guru. Bapusaheb was very orthodox and strict in his ways of eating. He observed Ekadashi and other fasts. On such days, he would not even touch onions. Baba respected this and never forced him to eat with him. In fact, Baba made him go home and have lunch there, often with some other devotee. Whenever the devotees offered sweets and fruits to Baba, he would hand the whole basket or box to him. Once Bapusaheb asked Baba as to when he would give him sannyas. Baba replied, "As soon as you are free from your worldly responsibilities." Thus Bapusaheb was now free. He stayed on in Shirdi for a few years and looked after Baba's Samadhi. After Kakasaheb Dikshit's death and the other devotees left Shirdi, being quite alone, Bapusaheb decided to go to Sakori. There he wore a kafni and took sannyas. His decision to go to Sakori is perplexing as he and Upasani never had a cordial relationship. Once he dragged Upasani and brought him to the Dwarkamai. Then he proceeded to tell Baba about the disagreement and asked Baba to be the judge. Nevertheless, at Sakori, he attended to Upasani with the same devotion as he would to Baba. He died a sannyasi, so his Samadhi lies in front of Upasani Ashram in Sakori. This information is taken from Sai Leela, Ank 13, Chapter 4, 1926. And this concludes the commentary on the chapter. Om Sai Ram.